hope the last benchers would be able to listen to me. Okay, great. I used to sit at the back benches when I was in school. Well, you guys really scared me. I've never seen such a big crowd. I'm really scared. Why? The last time I was in front of 300 people was when I got married. All right. So this is again 300 people staring at me. The good thing is I don't have another one, somebody standing next to me. My wife's gone for vacation today morning. Okay, anyway, I'm extremely excited to be here. I'm extremely excited to connect with you guys. It's a privilege to be here. I used to be somewhere there standing and listening to people and their wisdom. 20 years, 25 years, I'm standing on this side. How does it feel? Let's talk about life. Let's talk about a couple of things related to our real day-to-day life. I hope you will gather some information, what I'm going to share with you. What is it? I was walking down here and I realized that 300 people sitting here. Each one of you is 20 years old. I am now staring at 6,000 hours of experience. You are 6,000 hours of experience. I'm one person standing here at the dais. So what is the relation between 6,000 and 1? If I ask you, is 6,000 big? I mean, your general answer would be, oh yes, 6,000 is big. 6,000 is definitely big. The ones who had mathematics as an optional subject would say, maybe 1 is big, sir. Right? But in real life, 6,001 are absolutely big. Let me explain it to you. Your 6,000 worth of experience, if I am not standing here, you would be watching a blank screen. Right? If 1 is not there, then 6,000 means 0. On the other side, if I'm standing here, and if I don't have 6,000 in front, what will I be doing? Well, talking to these walls, right? Life is not mathematics. Don't try to find logical solutions in life. It's not about math. If you try to interpret life as if it's mathematical, some of you will be surprised, some of you will be shocked. You will have to understand life from a very different perspective. You people are starting on a new journey at this moment. 2 years down the line, you will be facing the real life. You will be going through the real day-to-day rigmarole of life. The challenges of life, the opportunities of life, the successes, the failures, you will be going through everything in the next 2 years. That will be the beginning. This is your last moment. Your last moment to gear up for that moment. I hope I'm not going too fast. Okay. Really, these guys seem to be energetic. Thank you. Okay. All right. You see, we're talking about new journeys. We're talking about such a wonderful thing staring at you 2 years down the line. When you take those steps, you just don't know what's waiting for you. You got to be prepared for something. You got to be geared up for some other thing. And there will be certain things which are absolutely unexpected that will hit you. Without a clue, something will come and whack you down. What will be those things? We really don't know. share certain experiences. Everyone has got those experiences. Your parents, your brothers, your friends, your colleagues, your girlfriends, your boyfriends, your neighbors. Everyone has got a story to tell you. It's up to you what you pick up. It's up to you what you want to grasp. It's up to you what you think is right for you. Rule number one, you and only you are responsible for what you're doing. No one else. No one else is absolutely concerned with your life as much as you are. I really don't know how many of you would be keen watchers of movies or novels. There is a movie called Godfather, right? I don't know if you've seen that movie. It's based on a novel called Untamed Names from Mario Puzo. Right. Okay. So in that movie, there is a loose adaptation of that movie, and it was an Amitabh Bachchan movie. Sarkar, right? Something. Um, in The Godfather, his father is a mafia don. He's a mafiosi. Okay. He's a don, and he's got two kids. One of the sons, the elder son, uh, shakes hands with the father's enemy. He becomes friends with his father's enemies, and the father's enemies want to eliminate the godfather. Okay. So much so that the son is ready to kill his father, and he shoots at his father. There is a scene in which the father is lying at a bed in the hospital. He is recovering from the gunshot. Okay, and the wife says, "This is too bad. I never knew I would have a son who would want to kill his own father." And that's where the key dialogue comes. And he says, "No, it is not. He is wrong. The mistake lies in me. I could not foresee that my own son could kill me. The problem lies in me. I could not foresee that someone who was as close to me could also hurt me." The real courage of life is to accept. The real courage of life is to accept that things may be wrong from my side. I need to move on. Don't blame electricity. Don't blame a company. Don't blame environment. Don't blame internal, external reasons. Try to find how could I adjust and succeed in the same circumstances. You think 2 years down the line when you walk, there will be a red carpet waiting for you? No. You think at the reception you will be greeted by Angelina Jolie? No, not at all. There will be allow me to say, an ugly looking duck sitting there. They'll say, "You are the new guy, huh?" That room. Alright. That's when your real life starts. I was just sharing with Damien. Um, During my college days, I started working, and when I started working, I went into a Tata company. The company was called Tata Press Limited. They were the first ones to come up with the yellow pages in India. They were in Bombay. It used to be called Bombay then. It's Mumbai now. So they were in Mumbai, and they came into Delhi. The first edition, 1992 or so. So I was still in the college, and I went there. I got selected for being a sales executive. So I started working. The first day I walked into the office, training done, everything done. 2 days later, my regional manager calls me. The regional manager calls me. "Oh, like Casanova. With my hands in my pocket, I went there, stood like this, and I said, yes, sir. Okay, so I am 72 kilograms now. 20 years back, I was just about 48. So you can imagine 6'2", 48, what kind of personality would that be, right? So, so, um, so I go there with my hands in my pocket, and I am talking to the regional manager. When I'm talking to the regional manager, I'm thinking, right? My neck was like absolutely Suraida. You understand that? It's actually an attribute for women, right? Beautiful women. So I am there, and this regional manager says, Vishal, come over, man. I walk up to his room, and he says, I thought maybe he's going to give me a praise, because I did some sales the other day. And he says, we don't wear printed shirts in the office. I was wearing the finest pista green color flowered shirt. Absolutely stunning, like a Bollywood actor. This is what I thought. I was not sure what my manager thought of me, but this is what I thought of myself. And I thought that I'm a Casanova here, man. That day and this day. Right? Lesson learned. You see, the first time you're humiliated, there is a humiliation, right? Somebody points out something which you don't expect. You know what are the signs of humiliation? Does anyone know what's the sign of humiliation? Very simple sign. Very, very simple sign. You start to sweat from here. If the air condition is on and somebody's talking to you and you're still sweating from here, and you're in a difficult situation. Right? You're gasping for air. These are signs that you're uncomfortable. So, lesson learned. What is the lesson? If you're working in a corporate, you need to behave like a corporate. So the lesson is, the shoes should be polished. It should be black, not brown. The socks should be dark. The trousers should always be black, blue, or gray. The shirt should always be clean. It should be white, or check, or striped. It would not be a dark color. The length of your tie should cover the buckles. Simple things. So when somebody points out a challenge to you, you have to find out what is the right thing. If you ignore, you're ignoring yourself. The difference between good and the difference between good and excellent, very, very thin line. Very, very thin line. It's not too much. So the moment somebody points out, hey, I don't think so you know how to be attired, it's so easy for you guys today. This is not 1992 or 1993. You carry the entire world in your pocket today. The click of a button, this is Google getting you all the information. My son, who's 7, 8, I tell him something, he never asks me what is it. He goes to the iPad, looks for that word, finds out the information, and then bombards me with such expert questions. That's learning. You have to find out. Everything is available in front of you. Everything is available in front of you. If half of you didn't realize, I use a word called rigmarole of life, maybe half of you would know. But I could safely assume half of you would not know what is a rigmarole. It's up to you. It's really up to you to write down that word and go back home or go back to your mobile phone and Google it. What does rigmarole mean? Don't wait. I used to work for UPS. Okay. And UPS, now let me tell you the size and scale of a corporation. The size of a large mega corporation. UPS is a Fortune 50 company. Fortune 50 company. I really don't know how much of you realize what is a Fortune company. These are mega corporations. I'll throw certain numbers to you and you will realize, hey, if I'm going too fast, let me know. I think I have to finish in another 15 minutes. Okay. What is a Fortune company? They are mega corporations. Mega corporation. What is a mega corporation? This company has got 800 aircraft. 800 aircraft. Sounds such a small number, right? 800 aircraft. Such a small number. Okay, now let me tell you what 800 means. 800 means all the airlines of India, combined will not have a fleet of more than 250 aircraft or 300. All the airlines in India, whether it's Jet, whether it's Kingfisher, whether it's Deccan, whether it's whatever, they don't have more than 300. And there is a corporation which has got 800. Can you see the scale of it? They move 15 million packages every single day. 15 million packages. Think about 15 million packages being picked up, brought to some facility, sent to 250 countries or 220 countries. Imagine the kind of length and breadth capability of that corporation. 3,25,000 employees, 1,25,000 trucks. UPS moves 3% of world GDP every day. I'm not talking about India's GDP. I'm talking about world GDP being moved. This is the scale of the company. You think an employee who goes there, they have time and attention to teach you something? You really think they can teach you something? No. It's up to you. The corporation will throw open the door for you. It's up to you. How much you can suck. How much you can suck knowledge. Nobody will come and tell you, hey, Amit, please see this. Hey, Ria, please try and understand this. No. They don't have the time for that. They don't have the resources to teach 3 lakh employees. They cannot. They get you, they think you're good. Once you get in, it's up to you how you find your way into the organization. You have to find out. You have to find out what is the right way for you to go up or get out. They will not teach you. And for that matter, whether it's DHL, whether it's UPS, whether it's any large corporation, they don't have time to train people. They will give you an induction when you come. They will tell you, my company is like this. This is what we do. This is your job. That's it. This is your boss. Live with it. Now live with it. Find your way out. And there you will realize, oh, I did my New Delhi Institute of Management course. Why is this boss not respecting me? Doesn't he know I scored 89%? Go back to your rules. Life is not math. It is not mathematical. Mathematical says the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, right? That's what mathematics tells you, right? You planes fly straight line? No. Does your life supposed to be straight line? No. No. I just read somewhere else, they were saying even the doctors feel a straight line is dangerous. You know about it, right? If your heartbeat is straight, right? Be prepared. Be a good servant. When you enter, understand that you know nothing. Don't come from a position that I know everything and I will now tell them what is the right way. I am God's savior sent on this corporation and I will tell you what is the right way to do business. No, it doesn't happen like that. The day you have that feeling, you'll be whacked down. Do You won't even know what hit you. Stand there. Be a good servant. If somebody tells you to do something, it's very good. It's very good. I'll explain you certain examples, real life examples of why it is good. So I used to work, and I used to work in my, um, I was in the sales hierarchy in this company, last company, I won't name it. I was in the sales hierarchy, and I used to manage an area called North India Sales. I used to manage North India Sales, and what used to happen was, there was a general manager sitting in Delhi, and this general manager used to tell me, "Hey Vishal, can you make my presentation?" My wife used to tell me, "You're making a presentation for a general manager. He's not your functional manager. You just administratively tell him that I'm going to be off on Friday or I'm going to go on this call. That's it. He's not your direct boss. And he tells you to make presentations." Okay? Sometimes don't listen to everything that people do. You're in a company. So when the general manager used to tell me, I used to be an area manager managing North, right? And suddenly the general manager used to tell me, "Hey Vishal, I've got a presentation for the country office. Can you help me?" I said, "Sure, I will." Two things happened. I became expert in PowerPoint. Really. I'm not at all either exaggerating or telling some kind of a made-up story. I became an expert in making presentations. I now knew, because I used to make it for him, I now knew what is the right way to show what numbers in what perspective. Six small little tricks. You're all experts in Excel, you might be experts in presentations. Sometimes the same number, how do you show the same number, good or bad? The same number, good or bad? Only in a graph. The graph says your plan is 100, you have done 60, right? The plan is still 100, you have still done 60. How do you show the same graph good? I'm letting you know, I'm telling you the truth. You can show that. You can show that. You know how? The same 100 will be there, the same 60 will be there. Okay? There is something called the x-axis and the y-axis. In the graph, there is an x-axis and there is a y-axis, right? All you have to do is, if the units are 50 and 50 for every column, you just reduce it by something slower, maybe 10 and 10. So on the figure, they will not look as big and as small, just because you changed the y-axis denominations. Try this. Do that and you will see. If the denominations on the y-axis is 10, 10, 10, 10 each up to 100, and if it is 25, 25, 25, 25 each, the figure does not look as horrible sometimes. Really, very small trick. But if you're in management, you see what happens. When the country managers are sitting, nobody has got time. You look at the graph is presented, they're looking at it. They really don't look at numbers. They look at the picture gets into your mind. You just think, okay, the plan was this, it's not too far off. This is how they see, it's not too far off. But if the same figure, if the axes are not in the right denomination, it will appear to be very small. Try it when you do it. So the lesson learned was that I became an expert in presentation, and now I got to know what happens in the country office meeting. I then got information, first-hand information, that this is what a country manager wants to see. My opportunity in life is done. I have achieved. And rightfully, after 3 months, after 6 months, opportunities will come. Don't say no to opportunities. They will come. But you need to be there. Now, if you are an area manager, how can you become a country sales manager? Unless you know what is happening in a country sales office. These kind of things will allow you to get an insight of what happens at the other side of Ivory Tower. The head office is called Ivory Tower. Any clue why? You know what's an ivory tower? An ivory tower it's a place where kings would sit, air conditioned, do this, do that. Right? That's called the ivory tower. How would you know what happens in an ivory tower? You won't have any clue. And tomorrow, somebody leaves. Why would you be given an opportunity? You would only be given an opportunity if you've really shown some kind of enthusiasm in learning, in getting information to your head, and in sharing information. Your past life and your new life are very, very different. Very different. In your school days, just go back 3 years, right? You just graduated from your colleges. Go back 3 years. You remember? When somebody is sitting next to you and you're doing your exams, what do? Right? 6th class, 7th class, 8th class. Many bata sakta. Many dikhunga. Right? Okay. If you have the same principle in your professional life, you'll be Roger. You will become an absolute average employee. Why? Because you're not sharing information. If you don't share information, you will never be a good learner. Whatever you learn, just disseminate. Just share with everyone. Tell them, hey, this is the right way. This is what I know. This is what I want to tell you. This is what I wanted to share with you. Share information. Don't have that school thing of hiding what you know. The more you hide, the more you will be a weak leader. The more you share, the more you become more capable. Your organization will become an organization of strength. Very, very important. Small little thing. Believe me, they will help you. Share your knowledge. But where will knowledge come from? It will come from your effort. The easiest source of information. The easiest source of information is what? A 2 rupees newspaper in the morning. You don't have internet connections where you're studying. 2 rupees, 3 rupees. Spend some time on the newspaper, 15-20 minutes, half an hour. Today the newspapers are so well arranged. You don't have time to read the entire news. They make small little blocks of summaries for you. Read that. Tomorrow, you see, we judge people not by marks. How can I judge people by marks? Let's assume I'm hiring. I'm a hiring manager. And you come. You think I will give preference to a 78% and not give preference to a 68%? Is the number an indication of knowledge? The number is only going to go far till the time you say, okay, I got 78. I'm a first class student. So, do you think we really judge prospective employees by those numbers? No, we don't. We just don't do that. We judge people by what they speak, how they answer, what they know, what is their attitude, how they sit, are they pleasing? We don't go by colors, we don't go by height, we don't go by personalities, we don't need models. We need people who can work, people who can think. It doesn't really matter what you carry in your briefcase. In your briefcase, of course, it's 5 qualifications, 60%, 80%, 90%, IIM, institute, all those degrees. No. After that bag, we will respect you for what is there on the top 3 inches. That's it. You have to show that your top 3 inch is worth it. And you worth the salt. I have 100 things to tell you. 100 things. The only thing I would tell you is that, hey, when you start off, be aware of where you're stepping into. You are stepping into a very unknown world. You are stepping into a situation which is absolutely ruthless. There is no mom which will come and give you lunch there in your home office. It's up to you, you go and put it up in an oven, heat the roti and then eat it. If you don't, nobody will bring it to you in your office. You go and take your own glass of water. Nobody will tell you do this or do that. Everybody will tell you you've not done this and you've not done that. When you go there, understand your environment. Learn everything that you can learn here, but be prepared for where you're going to go into. Be honest to yourself. If you like doing something, do that. I am in the transportation business because I like to be in the transportation business. I like a couple of things about my business. What are the things that I like? As a child, I used to like an aircraft. Everybody does. I'm in the business of aircraft. I used to like economics in my school and college. Our customers trade. We know everything about all the industries. Everything about all the industries. Everything. We understand everything now. Why? Because we carry our customers' packages. So, when I read the business headlines somewhere in the airline industry or on the commerce and trade side or on some tariff or on some income tax, we know each and everything is going to impact somewhere our customers. That's exciting. I mean, it's exciting to me at least. I don't know what's exciting to you. Everyone likes, I'm sure, but I like knowing about different countries. I'm in the business. I'm in a business which allows me to understand that there is a place called Nicaragua somewhere, and there is a place called Bahamas somewhere, and there is a place called Honduras somewhere, and there is a place called US and China. And what are the tariffs there, and what is the economy of that country, and what is the geography of that country, and how do aircraft reach that place, and how do packages get delivered to those locations, and what happens when the packages reach there, what is the customs formality. Everything we need to be aware of. And I, as a country manager, walk into a customer and the customer says, my package got stuck in Pakistan and you didn't know a shit about it. And can you expect me to stand there and say, oh, I'm sorry? No. The day I say I'm sorry, I've got a very sorry figure for my corporation. When I go and I stand in front of a customer, okay, I have to know what went wrong or what goes right. I have to know. If I don't deserve to be in that position. You have to be like that. When you get on to certain positions, you see, we used to feel. I'll tell you a story. Real story. I'll extend it 10, 15 minutes. Sorry. I'll tell you a real story. We are never happy in our situation. We are never ever happy. I started working. I'm going from here, there, everywhere just to share a couple of experiences. Okay. Very quickly I'll tell you. We are never happy. And I'll tell you about the personal side and the professional side of what I'm trying to tell you. The personal side of I was never happy was me and my brother started working. My brother is 2 years older than me. He runs a travel agency. 20 years back, he used to work for a travel agency. Now he has his own. So he would go and I would go to my office. So what used to happen was that I and he would go in a chartered bus. There used to be something called chartered bus. That means you would not travel in DTC bus. You would take a chartered bus. It will take 10 rupees from where I stay to Connaught Place. Both of us would take our bags and lunch boxes and go to Connaught Place where the office was. Alright. And when we were in the bus, believe me, I'm telling you the real thing. When we were in the bus, in the evening we would come and both me and my brother would stand and we are chatting. Sometimes you would get a seat, sometimes you would not get a seat. They were slightly more comfortable buses than DTC buses. And we are there and both of us would then say, we used to say, life is so great if you have a scooter. Okay? And suddenly, 3 months down the line, my father told me, hey, you're going to stay on the job, man. We've got 2 scooters that don't take one. Okay. We, both of us, were so excited as if God has descended on us. Excited. super excited. Okay? And we would every day now go in the scooter. I would drive, my brother would sit at my back, and we would go, and we would see, look, कहीं पे भी रोक सकते हैं, कहीं पे भी कुछ भी कर सकते हैं, right? बस में तो नहीं रोक सकते, इसमें रोक सकते, okay? So 6 months, 8 months, 1 year passed, 2 years passed, and suddenly the scooter was not as exciting. Why? Because in August, if you're driving in Delhi, it rains. Right? Yeah. So it rains. So now me and my brother started feeling, scooter की लाइफ है, कार होती तो कितना अच्छा होता, बारिश में भीगते तो नहीं, at least भीगते तो नहीं. We were not, worth the car. At those salaries, we were not worth the car. But still, we were aspiring to have a car. So, after a while, in 1998, somewhere, so 4, 5, 6 years down the line, and my father bought a second-hand Fiat. Okay, and he said, okay, we have bought a car. We came from middle class. The car was a big thing, right? So, car came in, and you don't have fuel. I had changed my job. I had joined DHL by that time. I really did not have that kind of salary to afford a car. Okay, but me and my brother, once a week, would come in a car. So once a week coming in the car, now you want to come every day. How do you come every day? I'll tell you, how do you afford a car without money? Okay, how to afford a car without money is, so I would go. The DHL used to give us fuel slips, right? Fuel slips for your scooter. The fuel slip for the scooter is 30 liters a month. You get more petrol. You go to your friend. The petrol that you have not used, I will make you sit in my car, and we can go during the sales calls and watch a movie once a week, but you will have to give me at least 20 liters out of your 30 liters. Right? And this is called a fact that was happening. I took 15 from 5, so I got 75 liters, and I had my own 30 liters of scooter, and I now had 100 liters to afford a car. So now what I was coming to was that car also came, car also we got used to, and then suddenly we realized, yes, it is not the right car. It is not the right vehicle. This is not a good car. Right? Maruti 800 at that time. Right? 800 is the only car. Okay? 800, I bought the first car I bought on my salary. I told my father. My father he came from Pakistan, and those Punjabi, strong head of the family, he said, you have to really go like a small little squirrel and squeak and say, can I have a car? Okay? And if he says yes, you will get it. If he says no, if he's not in a good mood, you will not have it. Okay? So we got a car. He said, okay, fine. You pay the EMI, buy the car. So he gave upfront 10, 20, 30,000 for the down payment. We bought the car came in, and suddenly me and my brother used to go in a Maruti 800, much more fuel efficient, everything was great. And then, after 1 year, we realized, car doesn't have an air conditioner. I used to have a friend, he was selling off his Fiat, and he said, मेरी कार में ना Fiat के अंदर AC लगा हुआ है, तू AC ले ले. You take the air conditioner out of the Fiat and put it in the 800. We got it. Over a period of time, we realized after the 800, we wanted to increase that. It went on to a certain level that today I have reached that level. If you ask me to go in a metro, I got no problem at all. This is how we progress. In your young age, you want to get everything. Everything you want to grasp. Everything you want to grab. everywhere you want to reach, every success you want to get. But when you get it, you have no value. You just have no value for that. Today, if somebody tells me, Vishal, because I lost my job in Deccan, airline folded, Captain Gopinath, airline folded in 2.5 years. And I used to think I'm an AVP managing 7 aircraft and all these 7 aircraft don't move without me. And suddenly, in 2010, the airline folded. The entire airline folded. Everything folded. Folded means stand up, bankrupt. Deccan 360. I used to work for Captain Gopinath. He folded. And now you realize that straight line, what I was talking about. It is never a straight line. It is never an upward curve. It will bring you down. And now, it brought you down to absolute dust level. Grounded. No job. Now the thing is, you don't have a job. And this is again learning. This is just about 2.5, 3 years back. So I was looking for a job. First I thought, salary se compromise nahi karunga. Okay. And then I thought, टाइटल से कॉम्प्रोमाइज नहीं करूंगा अभी वाइस प्रेसिडेंट है एयरलाइन के अंदर तो अभी वाइस प्रेसिडेंट से नीचे नहीं है ओके दिस इज व्हाट आई थॉट आफ्टर 20 years of experience 18 years of experience this is what I thought that अभी नीचे नहीं आना है अभी 1 month 2 months 3 months 5 months 6 months no job came in now reality starts sinking now you understand the reality of life. Then I went for a small little chat. There was a guy who, if he wanted to meet me in my airline's office, we had a 30,000 square feet office. I don't know how many of you would realize what is a 30,000 square feet office at the airport. It's a huge office. The plane would stand there, and we would have an entire big office, and I would go into the office, and then these agents would come and talk. They would really take an appointment with the airline guy. You're an airline guy. You control an airline. And the guy would come and say, sir, can I meet with you? Sir, can I meet at 10 o'clock? Can I see you at this time? And I didn't have a job. Okay. He said, Vishal, come over, man. Let's have a chat. His office was at the North East Barahamla Road, and I went there, New Delhi House. I went there, and I started chatting with him, and he said, Vishal, let's start working. I'm not talking too far off. I'm just talking 3 years back. I'm letting you know what is real life. I'm letting you know that anything can happen in this life. And I was chatting with that guy. And he said, let's start off from tomorrow. Okay? He says, let's start off from tomorrow. I said, sure. Then he said, I asked him, I said, you want to close the commercial? I didn't have a job. I did not have a job for 6-8 months or so. He said, because you're not learning anything. I said, I'm not learning anything. It's fine. So whatever you say. And I don't want to go into numbers, but airline vice presidents are very decently paid. Okay? Very decently paid. So, when I was sitting in front of him, he offered a job to me. He offered a job to me and said, salary. He offered a salary which was equivalent to my driver's salary. This is reality hitting you straight on the face. I have no issues in telling you this because we have to share this information. You are sitting and there you realize your heart stops. You gasp for air. You want reality to sink in. You walk through that office, go back home. I went to my father and he said, what happened to you? And I said, look. And before I could talk to my father, I was just choked. Totally choked. And he said, what happened? And I said, this is what happened. And the guy offered me a salary which is almost equivalent to my driver's expense. My driver's expense. Okay? And you have to accept that. When your chips are down, and he said, so why are you ashamed? I'm not ashamed. I'm just trying to gulp it down my throat that this is also reality. My salary was here, and he offers me something from here. He said, no, you were never here. And this is where you need wisdom. My father said, you were never here. You thought you were there, right? But he saw you absolutely there, zero. He's still trying to help you. You still have an opportunity to learn. You still have an opportunity to pick up something. You're zero. You're not even your driver's salary. You're zero. Absolute zero. When you don't have a job, don't think that your benchmark is your last job. Don't think that you were a vice president, so that is your benchmark. You are zero with zero salary with 15 years experience or 18 years experience. You have to accept those challenges in life. A lot of you, in fact, all of you, in some way or the other, find those challenges. Don't get depressed. Never get depressed. Failure is the only time when you will learn. Nobody learns from success. Success does not teach too many lessons. Failure will still teach you a couple of lessons. What goes wrong, why it went wrong, what can I do now? Anyway, we've gone through that. We've come to a stage where you resurrect yourself. So today, I cannot behave like a 20-year-old boy or a girl. I cannot. I don't get excited today by mobile phones. I don't get excited today by a foreign trip. I travel every 10 days outside India. Every 10, 15 days, I'm traveling for some business trip. We do all those business transactions. I manage India and I manage South Africa. So I keep going to all these countries. You cannot sulk in the past. You have to learn from your past. You will face all these challenges in some or the other way in your next 20, 25 years. Be prepared. Don't think you're the first one who's going through that. Have a big heart. Failure doesn't mean end of life. Failure does not mean a full stop. It's just a comma. You stand up, dust up yourself, and stand up and face the world again. Be prepared for all that. Okay, I think I'll have to wind up like this. It's already 11:30. It's been a pleasure talking to you guys. I am really, really excited looking at you because I look at you as if I was standing there 25 years back. It appears that, hey, 25 years back, because I passed out from school in 1989. I used to study in Cambridge School. Suddenly, me and my son were driving one day and I said, let me show you my school. When I stepped into the school, it appeared as if I was a student there. I was still a student and he said, Papa, show me your class. I was trying to locate my classes. But something was getting into my mind. I realized 89, 2013. We are talking about 24 years. I didn't even realize it's 24 years I left school. Life is passed on very fast. For everybody, okay, be good, be honest. What your parents, what your elders tell you, be honest, be helpful, help each other. See, if 3,300 people here help each other, can you understand the camaraderie you will have, the network you will have? Why do students in some of the premier colleges also across the country, they have a great union? Oh, I'm from Stephen. So all of them have got brotherhood. Get a brotherhood here. You need to know, each one of you needs to know each one of you. Talk to them. Share your experiences. There is nothing called a secret. Don't keep anything secret. Everybody knows about everything. Everyone knows about everything. When people know about politicians' Swiss bank accounts, do you think they will not know anything else? They know everything. Don't try to hide. Share. Share your views. Be honest. Be transparent. Be friendly. Have a laugh sometimes. When you make mistakes, don't feel shy. Tell them, I'm an idiot. I made this mistake. Yeah. Okay, everyone makes that. Alright. I wish you all the very best. I wish you do very well in your life. Okay. Do good. Be good. Okay. We'll be in touch sometime again. I hope our paths cross somewhere and we meet up. Okay. All the best to you.